The NFL is a crucial business. It's harsh and sometimes can lead to players being released and staffs being fired. Every season, there are a few coaches on the brink of being fired by their organization, and in this video, I'm going to be covering the 3 coaches who I believe are on the hottest seats entering the 2025 to 2026 season, covering their ventures so far with the team and why I believe their chair is getting so hot. Thank you for clicking on this video, and I hope you enjoy. Number 3, Indianapolis coach Shane Steichen. This may be a name that surprises a few people, but I think Steichen's seat is hotter than people may realize. Steichen came over from the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023 with a fair amount of hype. We all saw Jalen Hurts take a huge step up with him as offensive coordinator, and I believe a lot of fans viewed him as somewhat of a quarterback guru. That same year, he took his franchise quarterback in the first round in Anthony Richardson. Typically, when a brand new head coach selects a quarterback in the first round, they are now linked together. What I mean by that is that if Richardson begins to fail and not produce, then Steichen can easily get thrown under the bus for that and have his job revoked. In this case so far, although it's still early in his career, Richardson has looked pretty bad, and the Colts have suffered because of it. At times, Richardson flashes the athleticism and arm strength that got him drafted, but his arm strength is poor and his decision-making is even worse, and it seems to have not developed at all since college. Steichen may be to blame for that. They just signed Daniel Jones to compete with Richardson for their starting job, and if both of those quarterbacks flame out, it could be Steichen's head. So far, he is 17-17 as the Colts head coach, which is kind of the most Colts stat ever. It's the literal definition of average, and at some point, teams get tired of average. Not to mention, with the unexpected death of Colts owner Jim Irsay, rest in peace, this new ownership, which was passed to his daughters, may not be as forgiving to Steichen as Irsay may have been. The Colts will be an interesting team to watch this year, as their averageness needs to be converted to at least above average if Steichen wants any chance of sticking around. Personally, I still believe in Steichen and think he has what it takes to coach a solid football team. Where I think he went wrong is in talent acquisition. The Colts have made really no big splashes in free agency or in the trade market, and it's resulted to just a decent team that can't get over the hump. Overall, Steichen needs a fast start in 2025 and needs to show some early promise from his built Colts team if he wants any prayer of seeing next season. Number 2, Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphins. This one hurts to talk about as it's with my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. McDaniel's coaching tenure has been so up and down so far. McDaniel is 28-23 as the Dolphins head coach, which isn't terrible by any means, and he's had 2 postseason appearances. You might be thinking, then why is he on the hot seat? Well, both postseason appearances ended in the first round of the playoffs without much of a fight put up at all. Not only that, but McDaniel seems to have lost control of the team. Both of the Dolphins' star players want out of Miami. Tyreek has been a diva and uncontrollable this season, hinting at wanting to leave Miami numerous times, plus all of his off-season troubles with law enforcement and alleged domestic abuse. It seems McDaniel has no answer for Tyreek's antics. With that, Jalen Ramsey wants out as well and will more than likely be traded as soon as this month. Ramsey just sees a sinking ship with Miami and wants out, and I can't fully blame him for that. I've covered this in my How Will the Dolphins Perform video, but the scheme in Miami just hasn't worked come playoff time. McDaniel has built this team strictly around speed and has said to hell with strength and physicality. Come playoff time in cold weather, you need a strong run game and a big, immovable defensive line. The Dolphins have neither of those, plus the disadvantage of being from Miami and not being used to the cold already. When you combine the poorly built team, the trade packages given up for Ramsey and Tyreek just for them to want out, 0 playoff wins, and what seems to be no control over the locker room, you get a coach on the hot seat. There's a chance McDaniel figures it out this season, as he seems to be more open to allowing physicality into his offensive scheme, but just like Steichen, he needs a fast start in 2025 if he wants to avoid a mid-season firing. Number 1, Brian Daboll, New York Giants. Brian Daboll's seat is so hot his ass is already charcoal. Daboll was once considered a fantastic hire by the Giants after they fired Joe Judge in 2021. Daboll took over in 2022 and immediately impressed. Daniel Jones suddenly looked competent under Brian Daboll, and he was considered a miracle worker, posting a 9-7-1 season and actually upset the Kirk Cousins-led Vikings in the first round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Giants fans have been riding that high for 3 years, as the rest of his tenure has been extremely disappointing. Daboll is now 18-32-1 as the Giants head coach, and that season seems so distant at this point. Him and Joe Schoen decided to let Saquon Barkley walk and thought that the money would be better used to give Daniel Jones a massive contract extension to keep him in New York. This was the biggest mistake of either of their coaching careers at this point, as Saquon signed with their division rival, won a Super Bowl, won Offensive Player of the Year, ran for 2,000 yards, and worst of all, made fun of them in a damn mattress commercial.
I heard some of you were having trouble sleeping, so I wrote you a lullaby. Rockabye baby, awaken your bed, as the thought of 2000 swirls in your head. It sure is tough to lose sleep over football. Not for me though. Good night to you all.
All while the Giants were sitting at home and digesting a 3-14 record and contemplating their future with their coaching staff, and while Daniel Jones was cut and is looking to ruin Steichen's career just like he did Daboll's. Now, in all fairness, I really do like what the Giants did this offseason to correct their awful mistake, and I think we could see a much improved team, as I said in my NFC East video, and for Daboll's sake, I know he's hoping I'm right. If the Giants can get off to a hot start this season, there may be reason to keep Daboll, as he also won Coach of the Year that season, just a few years ago. If not, though, it's not just Daboll's head on the chopping block, it will be Joe Schoen's as well, as he's in maybe even a worse situation than Brian Daboll is. I think Daboll will do just enough to warrant one more season in New York, as I believe he posts a 7-10 season with maybe a few big upsets, or maybe even an 8-win season. But it's very likely that even if he does post a record like one of those two, the Giants may just get rid of him anyway and try to start a new regime in Rutherford. Thank you for watching.